The Presidential Power Initiative remains a priority project for our administration.
Presidency affirms commitment to power sector reforms. Vice President Osinbajo insists global energy transition must reflect Africa's priorities.
Creates room for us to be able to secure this country with regards to imports of illicit goods.
Also tonight, Nigeria Customs Service surpasses revenue targets for 2021. Hello, good evening, and thanks for joining us on the NTA Network News. I am Kenan Ima Abodike. And John Adams will be joining us from Lagos in the course of this broadcast. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen for updates. UK Prime Minister Liz Truss has resigned, bowing to the inevitable after a tumultuous 6-week term in which her policies triggered turmoil in the financial market. Charles Alpha reports.
Came into office at a time of great economic and international instability.
I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected, says the UK Prime Minister Liz Truss. This is coming after she said she is a fighter and not a quitter and vowed to remain in power. Truss's premiership has been in turmoil since her mini-budget last month, which rocked markets and was later scrapped by her new Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt.
I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
She resigns as the UK Prime Minister following a speech delivered outside Downing Street, where she said she could no longer hold on after a senior minister quit her government with a barrage of criticism and a vote in the House of Commons descended into chaos and acrimony, just days after she was forced to abandon many of her economic policies. Liz Truss has notified King Charles III that she was resigning but will remain as Prime Minister until a successor has been chosen, with a Conservative leadership election scheduled for next week. Liz Truss's departure after 45 days in office makes her the shortest serving Prime Minister in the UK history. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Back home here, President Muhammadu Buhari has reaffirmed the commitment of the federal government towards improving electricity supply in the country by resolving capacity deficit across the entire value chain of the power sector. This was while granting audience to the President and Chief Executive Officer of Siemens AG, a German consortium committed to meeting the growing global demand for energy. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The Buhari administration and Siemens had in 2019 signed an implementation agreement towards dramatically improving the quantity and quality of power supply in the country for sustainable growth and development of the economy. Under the agreement being implemented in 3 phases, Nigeria's overall grid capacity is expected to rise to 25,000 megawatts in the final phase.
The Siemens Energy team is already on ground and are fast-tracking the efforts to close out on the technical and commercial issues. For instance, the need to ensure there is alignment on turnkey frameworks, faster delivery periods of brownfield substations upgrades, loose distribution transformers, and local technical standards for project execution. We believe this is the right approach that will get us across the line in good time.
I just would like once again to reconfirm our commitment to the plan, to the initiative and to the country to push in the next couple of weeks and months really as much forward as is still possible to make sure that we can really build this backbone of the energy system.
President Muhammadu Buhari described as reassuring that the first set of transmission equipment aimed at delivering 2,000 incremental energy has arrived in the country and will soon be installed to serve Lagos and Abuja, the nation's capital.
The Presidential Power Initiative remains a priority project for our administration, and Nigerians believe in the value that the Siemens brand can deliver. However, what I like to see is that we attain completion of the entire transaction process by December 2022. This will entrench the mandate of the Prudential Power Initiative in 4 committal terms. On our part, nothing is spared to ensure we improve the lives and livelihoods of our citizens.
While the overall framework for technical and commercial arrangements are being concluded, plans have been finalized towards ensuring that 10 power transformers and 10 mobile substations are delivered and installed by May next year. And out of the 5,000 engineers expected to be trained at the end of the program, 200 have already been trained on network development studies, representing an important knowledge transfer process.
I therefore urge Siemens not to relent in ensuring that our commitment to Nigerians in delivering the Prudential Power Initiative project is fulfilled. The outcome of this collaboration will deliver critical business enablers and opportunities to engage young enterprising Nigerians in various endeavors.
President Buhari used the forum to express appreciation to Chancellor Olaf Scholz of Germany for his government's continued support to the Presidential Power Initiative of Nigeria. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has described the current global energy transition as an opportunity for the preservation of the earth and a vehicle for unlocking the development potential and livelihoods of millions of people, especially those in developing countries. He, however, noted that the transition must also be fair and sensitive to Africa's peculiarities and priorities. The Vice President made the remarks at the 2022 Standard Bank Climate Summit with the theme Africa's Path to Carbon Neutrality, which took place virtually. Vice President Osinbajo focused on how to manage the energy transition to net zero in the context of Africa's unique challenges such as energy poverty. He said the global community must account for diverse realities and accommodate various pathways to net zero, particularly for African nations which need financial and technical support as well as the flexibility to develop as swiftly as possible. The Vice President, however, noted that to ensure a global energy transition that is favorable, African nations need to engage more critically and vocally on the matter in a manner that will ensure a fair and balanced energy transition that leaves no one behind. African countries, he says, must also take ownership of transition pathways and design climate-sensitive strategies that address growth objectives and clearly articulate priorities, strategies, and needs. It has been estimated by the International Energy Agency that Africa will need around $133 billion annually in clean energy investment to meet energy and climate goals between 2026 and 2030. Now, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration has executed high-impact projects across the country. He maintains that the projects meet the yearnings and aspirations of the citizenry. Anthony Forsen reports.
The briefing is the inaugural edition of the President Muhammadu Buhari 2015-2023 scorecard. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed set the tone for the Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Raji Fashola.
NTA have attempted to lay down the massive and unprecedented achievements of this government. Some potential candidates have even released a poorly done photocopy of this administration's achievement as their own blueprint. For the series we are starting today, will leave them breathless and clueless as we cover all the achievements in the various sectors. Because we are so much to showcase the frequency of these briefings will be high, and this will run through the remaining part of our term. Despite attempts in some factors to downplay the achievements of this administration.
The Works and Housing Minister, reeling out his ministry's scorecard, attributed the successes achieved to visionary leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari and commitment.
We have moved the needle on some of Nigeria's most difficult projects, and we are nearly closing them out. Lagos, Ibadan, Niger Bridge, Apapa Ogunshoki, both body roads that seem to defy possibilities.
He said the federal government had no option in funding infrastructure projects, hence the obtaining of loans.
My conversation with people is, if you look at the meaning of abandoned projects, to abandon, it means to forsake. We have not forsaken any project. But the truth is that there are not enough resources to finance all of them at the same time. So perhaps we want to redesignate the nomenclature to uncompleted projects because we have not forsaken them. They were designed for certain constituencies. As revenues improve, priorities also. So perhaps in choosing what we do, if you look at this, we shared with you the first time what we wanted to prioritize. We had 6 urgent priorities at that time, and you will also be able to glean them from the 9 priority areas of the conference of the retreat we just finished. One of our priorities was roads leading to ports, so that economy can move. We can decongest the seaport and the airports for efficiency of business.
The successes recorded in infrastructure include the completion of the second Niger Bridge, among others. He expressed satisfaction with a platform which he said has become a forum for spot-checking government programs and projects. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The Nigerian Customs Service has restated its resolve to ensure that all leakages, especially through smuggling of illicit goods in and out of the country, are stopped. Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali, said this during the 54th session of the State House press briefing to assess activities and performance of the customs in the past 7 years. He highlighted the activities to include destination inspection, import, export operational improvement, and revenue generation, amongst others.
That having realized the importance of human capital development, the service engaged in a massive training to boost the capacity of its staff, particularly the automation system, to fast-track the process of clearance and the general operations. This, according to him, resulted to generating of more than 2 trillion naira, which exceeded the target of over 1.6 trillion naira set for 2021.
Custom, as you know, without saying, is a global organization. We have what we call the World Custom Organization, which we all belong to. And under that umbrella, we operate virtually the same goods globally. We harmonize our system globally. So we need to get our officers to that level where their own capacity to be able to perform at the best practice globally.
The CG has commended the policy of self-sufficiency introduced by the present government, which boosted rice production and banned importation. In collaboration with other stakeholders, the Nigerian Customs Service, according to the CG, is doing everything possible towards fighting smuggling on land, water, and air, all in an effort towards blocking leakages. This is in addition to acquiring scanners to improve import-export capability. The Controller General also highlighted some of the operations to include fast-tracking the trade facilitation, excise on telecommunication services, fiscal and monetary policy enforcement, introduction of the automation of customs valuation for vehicle, as well as dedicated export command. This is an effort towards improving efficiency in the service delivery.
And that will give us an end-to-end electronic system. It will not only enhance our revenue, it will also create room for us to be able to secure this country with regards to imports of illicit goods. It will also give us the chance to be able to connect with the global best practice, because then it will also give us the chance to monitor and completely be able to monitor and protect our borders.
The CG further stated that the service is determined to increase growth in revenue of over 30% annually, reduce cost of doing businesses, as well as promote national economic development. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Time for our first break. We will be back shortly.
Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, in collaboration with the Best Strategic Media (TBS), wish to inform the general public of the Nigeria Excellence Awards in Public Service (NIPS) 2022, to be presented by President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Date, Friday, 21st October 2022. Venue, State House Conference Center, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 9:30 a.m. The reward for hard work is a NIPS award. This event is strictly by invitation.
If today we say that the number of police officers, hypothetically, the ones we have, are not enough, and we want to expand the police force, for example, by 100,000 more police officers, we cannot fund it if we don't have enough taxes to expand the size of the police. It has always been said by some of the that maybe we have few number of police officers per 1,000 Nigerians. Our ratio is low based on statistics globally. Now, if we want to increase by just 100,000, that will require at least an additional expenditure of about 200 billion naira a year. So it's very, very important that we pay our taxes, because that way we can ensure that we get the security that we all crave.
Nothing should divide us. Nothing can divide us. And absolutely nothing will divide us. In our togetherness lies our strength. Our diverse nature beautifies us. Yes, we may not agree socially, politically, and culturally. Not even our ideological, religious, or ethnic differences lead to bloodshed. Let us draw a leaf from the painful reality of our recent history and give dialogue and negotiation a chance. Let us support our gallant men and women of the armed forces, symbol of our national unity. One people we are, have been, and always will be. Nigeria is my country, your country, our country. Let us keep her together in peace and unity.
With your money, you don't need to worry. Them no go fit to scam you, and you don't need even any transaction you go fit to perform. You don't even need smartphone, no. You don't need that. Great wallet, check your balance, transfer money. Service you need, you can bank on it. Yes, you can. Just take your phone and press. In the village, in the city, anywhere where you do. If it's a thousand, they sell a car. Any job where you get it, just know say yes, you can. You can bank on it.
Same Naira, more possibilities.
The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Muhammad, welcomes President and heads of government, the UNESCO Director General, Ms. Audrey Azoula, and other UN officials, foreign ministers, ambassadors, international dignitaries, and members of the Federal Executive Council to the UNESCO Global Media and Information Literacy Week 2022 with the theme, Nurturing Trust, a Media and Information Literacy Imperative. Date, 24th to 31st October 2022. Opening session, 24th October 2022 at the Banquet Hall, Presidential Villa, Abuja. Time 3 p.m. The other sessions of the Global Media and Information Literacy Week 2022 will take place at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari GCFR, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mrs. Lydia Shehu Jafia, MNI, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Announcer.
Welcome back. 2 fake National Identity Commission officials have been arrested by the Nigerian troops in conjunction with the Nigerian Immigration Service and the police. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Musa Madami, announced this at a bi-weekly news conference in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
It's another defense media operations briefing on ongoing armed forces operations across the country. Top is the arrest of 2 fake National Identity Management Commission's officials and foot soldiers of high-profile kidnapper in Benue, Zamfara, and Katsina states.
On 13th October 2022, troops in conjunction with the Nigerian police and the Nigerian Immigration Services operatives intercepted 2 fake National Identity Management Commission officials. It was revealed that the suspect had visited Gagamari IDP camp in Niger Republic to register non-Nigerians in the IDP camp. Items recovered from the suspect include a National Identity Management number registration machine, printing machine, lamination machine, a computer tracking machine, and a generating set, among other items.
The director also gave details on apprehended vessel and the rationale behind its subsequent destruction.
On 7th October 2022, arrested a vessel, MT Daima, with 8 crew for illegal bunkering activities at Sara area of Escavos Channel. Recover and destroy. That is the mandate.
Similarly, within the period under review, 60 terrorists were arrested. 366 and their families surrendered to troops in the northeast. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Engineers at the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) are utilizing an engineering conference in Abuja to keep abreast of modern technology and techniques ahead of the 2023 general election. Thomas Owetere reports that the Director General of NTA, Salihu Abdul Hamid Dembers, was on hand to inaugurate the conference.
These are the heads of engineering from all NTA stations across the country. The essence of this gathering is to deliberate and come up with techniques on how best to transmit the 2023 general election. Olumuyiwa Idowu, a principal engineer from NTA Abuja, says the conference is apt and will promote cross-fertilization of ideas on how to improve on their previous efforts.
We intend to deploy new technologies like TVU Park, leverage on the use of ICT technology.
Director General of the NTA promised additional equipment to ensure hitch-free coverage of the election across Nigeria.
We can even report live from locations and after from these in the last elections that we experienced in the June and 86. And for me, it was quite important. And for Nigerians, it was also a shift from the government. And we'll try as much as possible to do much more than that.
At this conference, they should network effectively, learn new skills, think out of the box, redefine their mandates.
My message to them is to equip and upgrade themselves with the relevant skills, the relevant technology, and prepare very well. We have no reason not to perform above expectation. I expect Operation Excellence.
Participants are expected to transfer knowledge at their individual stations. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
And to politics now, the national chairman of the governing All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Adamu, has reinstated the party's strong desire to retain power beyond 2023 through the ballot. He was, however, quick to acknowledge the role of the media in the process. Salihu Wanara reports.
Next step to our last discussion.
Knowing the important role of the media in the society and the quest for power by the APC prompted this parley between the APC National Working Committee and the media. The critical role of the media in entrenching and sustaining a lasting democratic society and the role of the APC-led government in these regards were highlighted.
We want to continue to be the ruling party. And so we have to develop a capacity that whatever we do, we want to be positive as much as is humanly possible. And to do this, we need the media because we believe the party as a primary interested person in the outfit will be interested that its membership are fully abreast with what the leadership of the party is doing.
The party leadership promised to play a link role between the leaders and the citizens to provide and promote enabling environment for all businesses to thrive in Abuja. Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the final list of the APC Presidential Campaign Council has been released, with President Muhammadu Buhari still nominated as the chairman of the Congress. A statement released by the National Secretary of the party, Senator Iola Omishere, confirms that the list includes the party's national chairman, Abdullahi Adamu, as the deputy chairman, APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the deputy chairman, two vice presidential candidates Kashim Shettima as vice chairman, while Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong is the director general. The Tinubu Shettima 2023 Presidential Campaign Council has zonal coordinators, state coordinators, advisors, and campaign patrons. It has directors, deputy directors, secretaries, and directorates who will supervise about 33 directorates. On the other side, the People's Democratic Party says plans are on the way towards energizing its ongoing campaigns with input from the People's Democratic Institute, which is the party's training arm. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The People's Democratic Institute, PDI, is set to reopen after years of dormancy following the party's loss of the 2015 elections.
For training purposes, we have a screen this way.
The institute, established in the year 2000 during the administration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, is to be the intellectual base of the PDP, where policy direction is fashioned out for good governance and national development.
Candidate right now, he has its document called Contracts with Nigerian, which encapsulates all its policy programs. And then as an institute, we are already working with that campaign to ensure that those policies are streamlined and guided by details, data, statistics, information, so that when it comes in, or when the PDP comes in on May 29, 2023, we are ready to go.
The institute is expected to provide the PDP with critical data and information towards formulating policies aimed at addressing the socio-economic needs of the country if victorious in the 2023 elections. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has been endorsed by some religious leaders as their choice for the presidency come 2023. The group, known as the Nigerian Interfaith Alliance, announced their endorsement of the candidate after a meeting with the leadership of the party. David Ire reports.
The about 20 years old interreligious body has been mainstreaming the gospel of unity among Nigerians, irrespective of religion. Convinced about the goodwill the Peter Obi ticket wields among Nigerians, the religious leaders have taken to prayers in order to secure victory for Labour Party in peaceful electioneering.
We need harmony between the Muslims and the Christians. Let us try Peter Obi this time and see how can we achieve something, especially the critical situation that we are having in Nigeria.
The Labour Party scored a point in giving us young, vibrant candidates.
The party has faced a series of challenges recently, including the fatal accident of some officers leading to the death of our zonal chairman, hence the need for God's protection during the campaigns. The Peter Obi ticket has also promised to bring sanity on board and ensure that the nation's commonwealth is prudently put to use.
We parade the best of presidential candidates who has the character, who has the pedigree, who has the competence, and who has the name, the reputation to drive the process of development for the country and rewrite and reposition the country for greatness.
The leaders are selected from Kaduna, Niger, and Abuja. David Irie, NTA News.
In the meantime, Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, is promising a full utilization of all federal government information agencies and parastatals to strengthen the cause of mobilizing Nigerians towards a successful 2023 population and housing census. Oluseyi Adabo reports.
The National Population Commission has been leading an advocacy for a fair and an all-inclusive 2023 census that will help achieve a verifiable data outcome. But for this principal data mining commission of the federal government to achieve this task requires more holistic efforts and has since been receiving promises of support and partnerships. The National Orientation Agency has agreed to use its strength to advance the census project, and here is a 3-day national capacity building workshop for NOA's coordinators in the 36 states of the Federation and other top management staff to get clearer content and messages on the 2023 census.
If the NOA is properly informed, you can be sure that they'll be able to pass accurate and reliable information to the resident.
NOA's Director General Garba Abari delivered the Minister of Information's message at the meeting.
The census is something that requires a lot of information, and the Federal Ministry of Information and its agencies, relevant agencies, are all going to be deployed, towards creating the necessary awareness.
The message also is to be able to get information about the environment in which people live, so that the authorities on climate change and environment generally will have data to use for planning.
While the MPC, organizers of the workshop, hopes for an effective census program's publicity, participants are already speaking of their readiness to take the message to the grassroots.
The essence for us to go out and sensitize the general public about the benefits of the program.
The National Capacity Building Workshop is with a central theme, process and methodology for the 2023 population and housing census. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adabo, NTA News.
In a move to explore how to provide further financial succor for states regarding repayment of the federal government's budget support facility, the National Economic Council has decided to review the Central Bank of Nigeria's plan to commence deductions from state government's share of the monthly federal allocations. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
The National Economic Council, at its virtual meeting, resolved to set up a committee with representatives of the federal government and the states to review the plan to commence the deduction for the loan, bearing in mind all of the financial difficulties facing states.
While noting that a lot of funds that have been hidden from states before the present administration have also been graciously given to states by Mr. President and his team, and that has helped the state very much. So, while commending them, the NEC, agreed to engage the CBN governor with the Minister of Finance and the Governors Forum, and of course make a committee. And so it was agreed that this deduction will have to be reviewed to seek other ways. That if it goes ahead, the state will suffocate, and that will not be good for the nation.
The Council also endorsed the revised National Social Protection Policy presented by Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed.
The expected benefits of the revised NIPS includes reduction of multi-dimensional poverty, promotion of social justice, equity, and inclusive growth, reduce unemployment, social and economic vulnerabilities, and other threats to sustainable development.
There was a call to the governors to endorse the WASH Pledge Card, which is a commitment to make Nigeria open defecation free by 2025.
Called on state governors to do more to prioritize WASH and to commit in accordance with the pledge card that was circulated to the governors through the Governors Forum to make their pledge and commit to that pledge to eradicate open defecation and improved investment in wash services going forward.
NEC also resolved to constitute a committee of the federal government and state governors to liaise with other relevant stakeholders to find immediate and long-term solutions to flooding problems across the country.
Commending Mr. President, having met with some governors with regard to this flooding issue. And so NEC agreed to set up a committee which will look at immediate solutions and interventions, over the flooding, and to see how we ameliorate the sufferings of those who are affected and the states too. And also to provide, long-term solution in line with what the Minister of Water Resources is doing together with, the action plan of Mr. President in this regard.
Vice President Yemi Oshimajo presided over the virtual meeting, which was also attended by the new Ekiti State Governor, Oyebanji Abiodun. From the presidential villa in Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
In health, the Abdul Samad Rabiu Africa Initiative, ASR Africa, is set to invest $500,000 towards strengthening efforts and intervention aimed at reducing the burden of tuberculosis and HIV in Nigeria. Olusheye Adabo reports that the ASR Africa is partnering with USAID towards realizing this new health target.
The Abdul Samad Rabiu Africa ASR Africa initiative is the brainchild of industrialist, philanthropist, and founder of Boa Group, Abdul Samad Rabiu. It has been involved in interventions across sectors, promoting the cause of better public health care service across the African continent. The latest initiative is this new agreement with the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, after closely following up on its track records and coordination towards ending TB as well as HIV in Nigeria.
We made a donation, but like I was saying earlier, I believe this donation actually is to ourselves. The Nigerian people are going to be the beneficiaries of the intervention. USAID is going to give us an expanded scope. We're going to lean on your expertise and your implementation framework.
USAID actively engages with private sector partners in Nigeria in the drive to mobilize resources to counter these diseases and to ensure quality of life for the people that we serve. Today's event with ASR Africa aligns very much with this strategic approach.
The scope of this partnership and future engagements highlights the signing, even as the Managing Director and Chief Executive ASR Africa Initiative explains motives which drive the commitment.
This partnership with USAID is so critical, and it also gives us the opportunity to expand the scope of our operations, expand the scope of our impact, and make sure that we're reaching the people who deserve the support and help.
Lagos, Katsina, and Kano are among the 7 selected states in Nigeria to benefit from the intervention. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Adeola in Lagos is next. Hello.
It's Hinginu, not Adeola. Thank you for joining us in Lagos. We begin here with the judiciary. Former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Lagos State, Olasupo Shashore, accused by the AFCC for contravening Anti-Laundering Act, has been arraigned before Justice Chukwujeku Aneke of the Federal High Court, Ikoyi, Lagos. Amaka Owo reports that the accused was granted bail in the sum of 50 million naira, among other conditions.
Former Attorney General of Lagos was alleged to have made cash payment of the sum of $100,000 to Olufolakemi Adolore through Awalu, Habu, and Wale Aboderin. The charge also added that the former Lagos State Attorney General made cash payment of the sum of $100,000 to Ikechukwu Ogwine without going through a financial institution. The sum, which the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, said exceeded the amount permitted by law. The prosecutor, Mr. Balazanga, told the court that the offences contravened the Money Laundering Prohibition Act. However, Shashure, senior advocate of Nigeria, pleaded not guilty to the charges after it was read to him. Following his not guilty plea, legal team to defendant led by Candace Johnson asked the court to admit their client to bail on self-recognition. The defense counsel urged the court that if the court is mindful of granting him bail, he should be given 7 days to meet the conditions. Justice Aneke, after citing plethoras of authorities, gave his ruling by granting bail to the former Attorney General Shashure, senior advocate of Nigeria, in the sum of 50 million naira, with one surety in the like sum.
We are not even opposed to it for the simple reason that there are recent developments in law, which means that for the prosecutor, it is advantageous for even a defendant to jump bail.
The judge also ordered that the surety must be a director or permanent secretary in the government establishment, adding that the defendant's traveling passports with the EFCC be transferred to the court's deputy registrar. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Airtel Africa is taking the most-watched musical reality talent show in Nigeria to 13 other countries on the continent. Ruth Ario Samuel reports that this was announced at the official unveiling of the maiden edition of The Voice Africa in Lagos.
The Voice Africa.
Music is the soul of Africa, as it not just entertains but brings people of diverse cultures together. Over the years, music lovers in Nigeria have been entertained on the biggest musical reality talent show, The Voice, a platform where raw talents have been discovered. That season is here again as Airtel Africa is taking the competition around the continent.
You will be amazed to know that no one ever in the world has done a competition across multiple countries. You can hear Voice Nigeria or Voice India or Voice this, Voice that. But for a continent to have done this, 14 countries competing for that one big continental title, never done before.
I must say, sponsoring The Voice Africa was a very easy decision to make, because it not only aligns with the philosophy of our brand, but also consolidates on the current dominance of world music by Africans.
Online auditions begins Friday, 21st of October and will end November 10th, 2022. The organizers are looking forward to an entertaining show.
We believe in African talent. We believe in African entertainment. The show will be in 4 stages: blinds, battles, knockouts, and then the lives, which will go into a finale. And like Nandu said, there will be one winner, but this time, all participants, all talents will be winners.
The competition will start with submissions of a 1-minute recording of intending contestants singing without instruments. And at the end of the show, the winner will be awarded a record deal and a minimum sum of $100,000 prize winnings. In Lagos, Ruth Ario Samuel, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for a break. The news will be back with Kene in Abuja shortly.
The Road Infrastructure Tax Credit Scheme is one of the innovations of this government in order to encourage investment in critical infrastructure. We have the one that NNPC is handling. There are 21 roads spread across the 6 geopolitical zones that are being handled. So this is a very important scheme. It's leveraging on the capacity of the private sector to be more efficient in project delivery. And I'm sure that by the time some of these routes become operational, it is going to improve the competitiveness of Nigeria's economy and in the end reduce our imports.
Bye, Mom. He's going to play in this weather. Why did you let him go? He might fall ill.
And if he doesn't go out for practice, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from illness-causing germs during the rainy season, we use Dettol soap every day.
Dettol with Germ Defense gives you protection. Rainy season brings a lot of germs, and Dettol soap's Germ Defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol Show.
My son Aiden wants to be a great actor like you.
How did I do?
You did great. A couple of years ago is when his acting began.
Think you can play?
Yes.
Catch.
I take him to auditions and give him Twister, our family favorite. With the right support, my boy is going to be a great actor.
You got the role!
Give your kids Twister to support their big dream. Twister, power your dream.
You almost so nice. You almost so nice.
Sunlight makes things easier, so you can do more.
You almost so nice.
When you become more, you inspire others to be more too. Sunlight is here to support you as you reach for more success. Sunlight, more than you expect.
Friday, November 11, 2022. History will be made in the maiden edition of the Nigerian Marketing Awards.
Are you ready? It's happening live at the prestigious Eko Convention Center, Lagos, from 6 p.m. prompt.
It's a night where excellence and hard work will be rewarded in grand style. Be a part of this amazing experience. Save the date. The Nigerian Marketing Awards is internationally accredited by the Independent Awards Standards Council.
In a third Friday in 20 years.
Simply out of this world. Get a GoTV decoder, GoTenna, and 1 month max subscription for only 6,900 naira. Watch all the 64 games live from Qatar on GoTV Super.
Thank you for staying with us. President Muhammadu Buhari has joined us in celebrating the General Manager and Chief Executive Officer of National Theatre, Professor Sunday NSC Ododo, who just turned 60. Congratulating the screenwriter, playwright, poet, and renowned thespian on the milestone, the president affirms that the works of dramatists and theatre makers like Professor Ododo have significantly contributed to the understanding and acceptance of Nigeria across the world, curating identities, lifting and giving relevance to folklores and cultures, and pushing barriers on performances that have culminated in recognitions and awards. The president believes the scholar's versatility and flexibility in teaching the theories and practice of theatre and other literary genres continue to inspire new interest in research on Nigerian and African culture, paving way for the younger generation to embrace theatre as participatory communication and platform for benchmarking and networking. Up next is business news, and Benny Adams is our guide.
Thank you, Kene, and welcome to Business. Start by telling you that the federal government has announced complete liquidation of inherited liabilities for Nikon Insurance and Delta Steel Company. More than 7 billion naira was the outstanding payment, 56 months of pension liabilities, which the present administration inherited, 100 months, while 49 months out of the 96 months inherited from Delta Steel have also been completely liquidated. Choma Ejikeme, Executive Secretary of PITAD, disclosed that the inherited unfunded liabilities of the defunct agency was over 95 billion naira at inception.
Made possible by the support received from the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, the committees of the Senate and House of Representatives oversighting pensions, the Budget Office, and the commitment and political will of our most pensioner-friendly President, His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, who has made payment of pension and retirement benefits a topmost priority of this administration.
And on the capital markets, the Nigerian equities market recorded first gain of the week as it closed slightly on the green at the end of trading session. A total of 119.2 million shares in 2,909 deals, corresponding to a market value of 3.2 billion naira, were traded. Compared with the previous trading day, today's data shows 28% decline in volume, 13% decline in turnover, and 9% decline in deals. The current market capitalization stands at 24.2 trillion naira. Fidelity Bank recorded the highest volume, followed by Guarantee Trust, and well, that is end of business news. Network news continues after this break.
The Nigerian electoral system is seemingly simple, yet may be complicated for some.
It's for them to come and tell us what they have.
Running an election is equivalent to what? A job application. I want them to identify the issues plaguing the common Nigerians.
PDP should focus on PDP and APC should focus on APC.
Let's show you what an election is all about as Nigerians pick the next president, governors and legislators. We interrogate their plans, question the rationale and review the prospects. Join us, the ballot.
The purpose of taxation at the end of the day is to be able, is for the government to be able to provide certain goods and services that are usually called pure public goods that can only be provided by government. So one of the most important functions of government is maintaining law and order, providing property rights, ensuring Nigeria is fully represented in the community of other countries. And because of this, obviously, you need money to do these things. So how does government get money? It is through taxation.
The 35th National Festival of Arts and Culture, Ekona Fest 2022, with the theme Culture and Peaceful Coexistence, holds from Monday the 7th to Sunday 13th November 2022 at the National Stadium, National Institute for Sports, Lagos State. Time 10 a.m. daily. The official opening ceremony will take place on Wednesday 9th November 2022. Time 11 a.m. Venue Onikon Stadium, Lagos State. Ekona Fest 2022, promoting culture and peaceful coexistence. Otumba Olusegun Urunsewe, OON, Chairman, National Festival Planning Committee, Announcer. Media partners: NTA, AIT, LTV, FRCN, Eagle 7, Sports Radio, and Discon Television.
The Nigerian electoral system is seemingly simple, yet may be complicated for some.
It's for them to come and tell us what they have.
Running an election is equivalent to what? A job application. I want them to identify the issues plaguing the common Nigerians.
PDP should focus on PDP and APC should focus on APC.
Let's show you what an election is all about as Nigerians pick the next president, governors and legislators. We interrogate their plans, question the rationale and review the prospects. Join us, the ballot.
The Akwa Ibom state government is advocating what it calls fair global trade transactions where parties involved can enjoy profit and technological advancement. This was at an interactive session with UK investors held in London. Kelvin Samuel reports.
Akwa Ibom State in the last 35 years evolved into a mega of some sort, and with its industrialization agenda driven by Governor Udom Emmanuel, the government is not resting in its effort to achieve more for the state. At this interactive summit in London, Governor Emmanuel says fair trade in the global community can only come from value addition and technology transfer rather than raw material exploitation, which has spanned for decades.
In Africa today, when you're talking about unemployment, I say unemployment is not the issue. If we can build capacity, Africa have a whole lot of resources to trade with even other countries outside Africa. And if we have that capacity building, we can actually develop a whole lot of what we have.
The governor also emphasizes that fair trade will only remain an ideology if raw material-bearing countries remain without technology transfer from industrialized nations. Commonwealth Entrepreneurs Club later interacted with the governor on ways to partner the state's industrialization drive, where he was presented with certificate of membership of the club. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
And that concludes NTA Network News tonight. Thanks indeed for watching. And do remember to key into NTA's fight against rape and rapists. I am Kene Ima Abudike. Of course, the ballot comes up next.
Issues in the sports sector remain one of the most debated among Nigerians due to the passion